accumulated outside, because the cell likes to create a gradient. The other good thing about this machine is it also determines your basal metabolic rate, so it's kind of nice to know how many calories you're burning in a day, and this gives you a little bit of an indication of not exactly how much, but roughly how much you're burning in a day, just sitting still. So the pillars of health, there's 4 of them that I'm going to talk about today. Essentially lifestyle and attitude, that's number 1, extremely important. Focusing on your sleep, really important. Making sure you get regular and adequate exercise. And then focusing on diet. Who knew diet could be so important and a pillar of health even? Positive attitude, you got to learn to love where you're at. I think part of the reason why a lot of people how many people have tried a diet and sort of fell off the wagon, or that sort of thing. And it's tough because you don't see results immediately, and it's discouraging, but it's important to realize that essentially fat is stored calories. It's going to take a long time to really get it to start shedding. So you got to keep at it and have a positive attitude and be comfortable with where you're at. Know that you're taking the steps in the right direction, and just basically keep on trucking. So ideally you want weight loss to be a very, very slow process. These diets where people are weighing themselves, and they're one day they're 190 pounds, the next day they're 180 pounds, and there's all these fluctuations. To me, when I hear people telling me stories like that, I'm thinking in my head, okay, you're not losing fat mass at all. What's going on is you're probably either dehydrating yourself to a crazy amount, or you're not having regular bowel movements, and finally when you do, it's like this 10-pound bowel movement or something. So it needs to be a slow process, and that's when weight loss is actually permanent. And know that cheating happens. Okay, it's not the end of the world. It's important to sort of get back on the wagon. Just because you had that extra cookie or whatever, it doesn't mean that your whole day's ruined and you should just eat the rest of the box. Just know that it's okay to eat a couple more than you had planned on it. Keep at it, right? Have that positive attitude, and the next time the opportunity arises, learn how to avoid it, right? That's the important part. Learn from your mistakes. And as a general rule, avoid artificials, synthetic fibers, cosmetics, artificial sweeteners, coloring. Start using natural health products. I know they're more expensive, but buying that organic hippie toothpaste, I know it's $6 a tube, but honestly, how much does toothpaste really cost each time that you put it on your toothbrush, right? It's pennies, right? So whether you're paying 1 penny a day or 2 pennies a day, does it really matter? Splurge for the expensive stuff for sure, because you don't want to be putting, there's all kinds of weird foaming agents and things that have been shown to have carcinogenic activity, and you don't really want to have that stuff in your toothpaste. Yeah. The other thing that's important to know is that all these products they're all different. I feel like some of them are still in the process of trying to figure out, hey, is this the right formula? Does this taste good? Because I've tried some toothpaste and it's like ginger something, and I'm like, oh, what am I doing? This is terrible, and I spent $6 on it. But some of them are really good. So you just kind of have to try and find out the ones that you like. Okay, so sleep is really important. There's our favorite picture again. Sleep and cortisol. Our sleep hormone is melatonin. Ideally, we want to be in bed asleep before midnight. That's when we really benefit from melatonin production. So I'm going to say that again, because a lot of people don't realize how important that is. In bed asleep before midnight. So ideally winding down around 10:30, 11 sort of thing. That's when you really start to promote good restful sleep, being in bed asleep before midnight. And then 7 to 8 hours each night. I know some people think that they can, sleep 6 hours and then it's okay because I'm going to sleep 10 hours on the weekend. It's like a bank. It's not like a bank at all. You can't conserve sleep hours. It's not non-transferable. Okay? It's like the bus tickets here.
And 8 hours straight through, no.
Yeah, uninterrupted sleep ideally. Yeah, well, I know but it's important to address that, and because I truly think that, again, sleep is one of the 4 pillars of health, right? So if people aren't having the 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep, there's something going on, and you're not benefiting from one of the most powerful brain antioxidants, which is melatonin. And it's also a really great antioxidant for our gut. So everybody's on this antioxidant kick, and here's a natural antioxidant, and most people aren't getting enough of it. And here's how you can. Basically, the goal is to improve sleep quality, and by doing so, you actually help to reduce your overall stress, because what it does is the melatonin helps to reset your cortisol. Cortisol being your fight or flight hormone, your stress hormone. By getting a good night's sleep, you're helping to regulate your cortisol production. And remember how we talked about too much cortisol, and then you start getting the spare tire tummy? Okay, I'm just going to try to get through the slides here, guys. Exercise. We all know it's really important, especially if people are interested in a weight loss and detox program. 3 to 5 days a week, and frequency is the most important part. So essentially, more with exercise is better kind of thing, as a general rule. Ideally, you want to be getting your sweat on too when you're exercising. I was laughing the other day because I was at Oak Bay. I don't typically go to Oak Bay Rec Center, as some of you might know. I was there a couple weekends ago, and I happened to see a guy who was working out. Actually, he was kind of dressed like me, and he was working out. He's doing some lat pull-ups on the machine there, and I was, wow, this guy's not even breaking a sweat, and he's in his dress shirt, and he had these, nice little loafers on, and I was like, wow, that's a real workout he's got going on there. So anyway, moral of the story is you need to be sweating. If you're wearing a dress shirt, you're probably not working hard enough. And also, to get yourself sweating, saunas are good, especially infrared saunas. And you can do those on your day off if you don't feel like, working out every single day. I truly think that consulting a personal trainer to start your workout plan is a really good idea. I'm not a personal trainer, so don't ask me about exercise advice, that sort of thing. I've got some tips here and there, but definitely go see a professional, and any personal trainer will tell you that varieties is the best for best results. If you see some guys and they've got like the big huge upper body and the skinny little chicken legs, that's not really what we're going for here as far as exercise. It's good to work your whole body and do a full body workout sort of thing. Also, weights, then cardio, because essentially, if you want your muscles to be strongest, you actually want to be lifting weights first, because that's when you have the most creatine. Creatine is a compound that's in our muscles that helps to improve. It basically helps to improve their rate of contraction. So that's why you want to do weights first and then cardio. You want to do your cardio first, get all tuckered out, and then just do sort of lazy job on the weights. You want to actually do your weights first, and then hit the machines on cardio. By doing so, you actually ensure that you're getting into fat burning mode a lot quicker as well. It's important to stretch after too. So I know a lot of people, they get their stretching in beforehand, which is actually, research is showing that it may or may not be beneficial. So for some people, it actually makes them more prone to injury. For some people, it's actually making them less prone to injury. So the jury's out to lunch as far as stretching before you're warmed up. I say don't do it, but definitely stretch after, no question about it. That's the best way to help ensure that the muscles, after they've been warmed up, then they're elongated, so you don't get, when a lot of people are getting the delayed onset muscle soreness sort of thing, it's probably because they didn't do enough stretching afterwards. And doing gentle movement therapy, so things like yoga, not every day that you're exercising has to be going to the gym and sweating your brains out and then, going for a swim, and you don't have to do a marathon every time. You can go and do a yoga class or Pilates or even just meditation or something like that, or just stretching and relaxation. That's exercise too. I mean, if you're doing that 3 to 5 times a week versus somebody who's doing weights and then cardio, you're probably not going to have the same kind of fat burning effect, but it's important. But not as important as having fun, which is the most important. We're definitely running out of time here. So I'm just going to breeze through the dietary stuff. But basically, all of these dietary trends, I think that they work while you're on them. I don't think they work well, but a lot of them do work in the sense that they do the desired effect of losing weight, because most of these are weight loss diets. But as I'm pointing out here, what is being lost? Are they losing fat? Maybe. Are they losing muscle mass? Probably. Are they losing water? Probably a lot of that. Are they losing a limb? There's lots of things that you can lose to lose weight. So it's important to realize that we want to emphasize this and minimize this and this as far as losing goes. So I think that when people come to me and they want